From the streets of Chicago to the headlines of the world, you are now tuned into the rhythm of real thought. This is the Daily Mix. 15 minutes of uncut perspective starts right now.
All right, welcome to the Daily Mix podcast, y'all. I'm your host, Omari Jahi. And I appreciate you spending your 15 minutes with us here today. We're putting ourselves under a spotlight this afternoon. We're conducting a personal accountability audit because every single decision we make has exactly two sides, the right side and the wrong side. Most people live their lives in the passive voice, treating life like things are just happening to them instead of owning their part in the equation. Now, the central question is, when you look back at the choices you made this week, did we choose growth or did we choose comfort? This is where we look at a situation, even a bad one, and ask the question, what is my percentage of responsibility here? And how do we fix it? Now, let's give an example of this. Let's say we're going to be dealing with a group of young people that's organized to for a neighborhood festival, let's say, okay? Now, just imagine a group of young community leaders organizing a local block festival. They have great intentions, but as the deadline approaches, the project starts to fall apart. The flyers are late, the street closure permit hasn't been approved, and the local businesses aren't sending the donations they promised. Now here's the excuse. The project leader gets defensive. He tells his team, look, it's not our fault, y'all. The city's permit site was down when I tried to log on. And these local business owners, man, they just don't give a damn about supporting the youth. They never call me back. The system is just rigged against events like this. That's the excuse, right? Now, this pretty comfortable. It's cool. It blames the city, right? The businesses and the neighborhood. But notice, the language, it's entirely passive. It treats the organizers like helpless victims of circumstance, which means they have zero power to fix it, right? Wrong. Now let's run the accountability audit and look at the raw inventory of facts. Yes, the citywide website was down on Tuesday, but they didn't tell you that the application was actually due the previous Friday. The glitch only became an issue because of the procrastination of the group leader. Instead of putting the permit in by Friday, the previous Friday, like they were supposed to, he waited, what was that be? That's Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. He waited 4 days after the deadline date and tried to do it at the last minute. You know how we are, last minute Negroes. Now, what about the donations, right? The organizer, they sent a casual text message to the business owners and expected the owners to send them a check. They didn't walk into the store, look the owners in the eye, or hand them a professional, like business minded proposal. They didn't do nothing like that. You see, true accountability means changing the narrative from passive, it ain't my fault, to active. My bad. We need to do better. It sounds something like this. The website didn't let us down. The business didn't leave us hanging. We failed to communicate. This is what the leader should have been saying. We failed to communicate professionally. The moment the leader owns that reality, the energy shifts. He realizes that if he is the reason it went wrong, then he has the power to make it right. Instead of canceling the event, he gets up. Or maybe I should say this, he should get up at 8 a.m. the next morning, walk into the city office in person to get an expedited permit, and then schedule face-to-face meetings with the business owners. When you stop blaming others, you get your power back. You shift from a passive observer of your problems to an active director of your solutions. Now, how can we actually audit a decision or our decisions that we make on a daily basis? Well, we can look at the fruits of the decisions. If you aren't where you want to be financially, professionally, or personally, look at the daily micro decisions that brought us here. Like, for example, rolling over every morning when the alarm clock goes off, trying to get an extra 5 minutes of sleep. That decision, which causes us to be late every day. But we keep making that same decision, don't we? Until we get fired. And then the boss is wrong, ain't it? The differences between a right decision and a wrong decision is often razor thin. It's usually just 5 minutes of extra effort versus 5 minutes of giving up. We need to challenge ourselves to do an immediate nose audit of our day. Pick one problem you are complaining about and flip the coin. Stop blaming the static and take one action. Imperfect steps to correct the problem today. Take the action step. Because the problems can be corrected. Or we can just keep blaming other outward things for our problems. Problems never get solved. We never improve as human beings. Well, I hope this helped us to understand this thing called accountability a little bit better. You know, because I be seeing these podcasts and YouTube channel podcasts and all of this stuff, and they talking about accountability with women, you know, and it ain't just women. Now, I don't disagree that women need to be accountable, but it ain't just women. You know, we make excuses a lot for the decisions that we make so that we don't look bad. But I wonder, did anybody ever teach us mistakes aren't bad? Mistakes are the stepping stones to perfection. You have to make mistakes, correct the mistakes, then move forward, make another mistake, correct that mistake. See, this is how you move forward with mistakes. So we shouldn't try to hide our mistakes. And I hear you guys. I hear you. I know you're like, but you know, people will use your mistakes and beat you down with them. You know, or people will use mistakes that you shared with them that you've made and use them to make you inferior to them, or try to make it seem as if you're inferior to them. You know, when you find you're around a person like that, you know, there's a saying that I've always used to say. Either you change the people around you, meaning that either you get that person to understand that that's not the proper way to deal with the information that they received when you shared with them that you made a mistake. And if they continue to act in that way, then you change the people around you. Y'all get me? Either way, the people got to change. Either they're going to change how they're conducting themselves, or you got to change them altogether by removing them and putting somebody else in their spot. Be it friend, family member, whoever, cousins, you know, change the people around you. Thanks for listening, guys. This is the Daily Mix. I'm your host, Amari Jahi. Keep your compass right. Own your decisions. And we'll see you tomorrow in the mix, all right? So then, peace out.
Take care of your mind, take care of your health. And we'll be back in the mix tomorrow at 12 noon. Till then, peace out.